Hi everybody, I'm Amanda Mayflower and I'm at the American Menagerie. We are doing a project for the Little River Food Forest today, so I wanted to tell you all about it. We're going to be using milk jugs today to make teeny tiny terrariums so that we can start our seeds. I brought one that I got started on 3/17, so after I show you how to make a terrarium at home, with milk jugs, I'll go ahead and open this up and show you what 2 weeks worth of growth looks like. So the materials you're going to need are a drill with a drill bit on it, some tape, an empty milk jug that you've rinsed, a sharp box knife, make sure it's good and sharp because you don't want to slip and cut yourself, a Sharpie marker to label, and some seeds. So the first thing we're going to do before we cut our milk jug is we are going to turn it upside down. We're going to use our drill to drill a bunch of holes in the bottom. That's so that the water can get out and your seeds don't rot. So now after you've got several holes in the bottom, we're going to use our box cutter to cut almost the entire thing in half. So watch. I'll lay it down on its side, press into it, and cut almost all the way around. I like to leave a little bit attached because we're going to be taping the lid back on anyways later. Oh no, I forgot the most important ingredient. You know what it is? You're right, soil. Haha! Give me just 1 minute. All right, I'm back with a big bag of soil. I usually use old reusable pots to fill up my soil. They're a small size, so it's easy to scoop. So I'm going to scoop enough soil into the bottom that it completely covers it and will give my roots room to grow. As you can see, I've left a little bit of space, about 1 inch, to where I'm going to tape it. Once you've got all of your soil in, you have to choose which seeds you're going to use. Today I brought oregano, pepper, and cinnamon basil. I'm going to go ahead and plant the cinnamon basil. It's only supposed to be about 1/4 of an inch deep, so I'm not going to plant these very deep. When I plant in these little milk jug terrariums, I tend to keep it more seeds in there than I think that I'll need, because you'll be transplanting these pretty soon after they sprout. All right, so put a few little holes with my finger and begin to plant my seeds. When I plant, I usually put 2 to 3 seeds per hole, knowing that sometimes they don't all germinate. And then if I have extras, I can either gently pull them apart or I can pull them out and eat them. All right, so I've got my seeds in the hole. I'll gently cover it back up, and now is where the most important part comes in. Your Sharpie marker. If you don't bring a Sharpie marker, you're going to plant stuff and you're going to completely forget what it was. So on the outside of this milk jug, I'm going to write cinnamon basil. C-I-N-N-A-M-O-N basil. And I'm going to add today's date because that'll give me an idea of how long it takes to germinate. Today is April 4th, 2020. Once I've got it labeled, I'm going to take my duct tape and I am going to close my milk jug. Now the soil that I used is already pretty moist, so I'm not going to add any extra moisture to this. We're going to let our milk jug sit outside. It's recommended that you pick a sunny spot, either on the south side next to your building or somewhere that gets afternoon sun. The more sun it gets, the warmer your greenhouse will get and the sooner your seeds will sprout, because most seeds need warm weather to sprout. Now, if you plant something, like right now I have Cherokee wax beans, They're in one of these terrariums and they haven't sprouted yet, although like my dwarf gray peas and my calendula have. And that's okay. Some seeds need warmer weather and they will sprout when it's time. So the nice thing about this method is you can get it ready and you can get it outside and you can leave it. I just check it every now and then to make sure there's enough moisture. All right, so our cinnamon basil is done and ready to go. Are you guys ready to see what it looks like? All right, here are my dwarf peas. You can see that there's water condensation on the outside of the jug, and that's the coolest thing about using the milk jugs, is that it creates a greenhouse environment, so the water recycles itself. Okay, I'm gonna pull my tape off. All right, and let's see, look at these big, gorgeous pea plants. This is just after 2 weeks of being planted in this greenhouse. I've got about 8 plants in here, and since it's still pretty cool in the spring, I'm gonna go ahead and let them stay in the greenhouse until I'm ready to plant. I'll be preparing the ground for them in the next couple of days. Because these plants are gonna be ready to go, they like the cool weather, I'm not going to repot them first. Whereas something like my calendula that is gonna prefer to be in warmer weather, I'll go ahead and repot that in a pot like this before I plant it in the ground. That way the roots can become strong. Thank you guys so much for joining us on our little river food forest adventure today. We hope you've had fun, and we'll talk to you later. One more thing I forgot to tell you, it's very important. Be sure and take the lids off of these. If you don't, your seeds are likely to rot. Okay? Happy planting! Mwah.